Hey, good morning. Mike here, the Fresh Rinse. I'm about to head out on this Thursday morning. I've got a very big roof wash and a reasonable size house wash to do today. And I thought about the comment that someone made recently asking me if I would do a video on my morning routine. I've been kind of hesitant to do that because it just doesn't seem like there's a lot to talk about. But the more that I think about it, the more detailed that it is. The main reason being is because my evening routine is somewhat sophisticated, which means that my morning routine is just made a bit easier. It's rare in the morning that I have a lot to do that has anything at all to do with that particular day, the jobs that are made up on my schedule in that day. And the reason being is because most everything is taken care of the night before. Here are a few things. For example, on my way home on any particular day, if I need fuel in my machines, I go ahead and stop and get it on the way. When I get home from most every day, it's usually time for me to go ahead and right then make adjustments on my rig, regardless of what it is. So throughout the day, I will make a mental note and many times a written note of things that need to be done. Some of those things I take care of right then if the job requires that. But more often than not, it's things that I can wait until I get home, and so I do. Many times, legitimately, I never even go inside the house as soon as I get home. I will park right here just about every day, say hello to my dog, and I will get out and I will begin to make adjustments. Anything from O-rings that need to be replaced, quick connects that are leaking and need to be replaced. Obviously, if my machine or my pump is not cooperating with me throughout the day, I'll make those adjustments, change the oil if need be. Most of those things take place in the evening, sometimes on a Saturday or after church on Sunday. But almost every day I come home and make some kind of adjustment to my rig. I will then go inside and begin the afternoon. It's usually dinner, then making phone calls, creating videos or editing the videos to post to Facebook, all of my paperwork, many times setting up my schedule if need be for the next day. Sometimes there has to be rescheduling for people who've called and said they can't do it the next day, they need to reschedule. All of that takes time, and that always takes place after I get home. After that, I will come back out and I will transfer chemical. It's rare that I'm transferring chemical the day of. All of that takes place the night before because I never know what's going to happen in my personal life, regardless, from the time that I get off work in the next morning. And the last thing I want to do is prevent myself from getting to the job site on time, my first opportunity, because of some delay that I could have taken care of the night before. I tell you all of this because most of the videos that you're going to see on YouTube just show you the glamorous things. And I began posting videos a year or so ago with the intent of showing you the real life, right, of a pressure washer. It's rare that, and you know this if you've been doing this anytime whatsoever, it's rare that you're watching television with your spouse at night and you're not thinking about the goings on of the day. If your advertising is working, why the phone isn't ringing. It's ringing so much that you can't keep up. What the next day looks like. And then for many of you, like myself, you go to bed, pick up your phone and check your schedule, look at Google Earth images to make sure that you've got all the right equipment if you need a longer ladder. All of those things are going through the mind of the pressure washer constantly. We never clock out. So for those of you who are just starting out, good luck. I wish you the best. I really hope that you do well. In fact, I don't know of anyone on YouTube or in my community who does more to help local pressure washers. So I truly hope that you succeed. But you just need to take in consideration that there's a lot to this. It's not just what you see on the job site in these videos when they go throw up a ladder, wash a house without a ladder, shoot some chemical in the house, get paid and go home and laugh about how much money that they made. I got a call last night from a lady that I washed her house a month and a half ago. She calls me, Mike, there's spots on my car and I have to have it buffed out and I'm asking you to pay for it. She was expecting me to pay for it a month and a half ago. Are you serious? Now, the next morning I'm still thinking about this stuff, right? I mean, and you say, well, that'll never happen to me. That's the least. That's the bare minimum of the things that you need to be concerned about. So yeah, there's so much to this. So I digress. My morning routine is made easier because my night routine is sophisticated. If you're not doing anything in the evening, your mornings and many times throughout the day are going to be hectic. And with all that I do to prevent nightmares, still have many nightmares. What does my morning routine look like? It's quite simple. First thing I do is turn on my machine that I'm going to be using, whether it be the 8 machine or the 10 machine, and I let it run for about a minute. On idle, just let it run just for a minute. And the reason I do that is because to start your machine in full bore once you get to the job site is a huge, huge nightmare in the making. Imagine getting in your vehicle, turning it on and stepping on the gas and running it for hours at a time. That's not the best practice if you want to have long-term success with your machinery. I let my machine run for about a minute on idle. Do a walk around just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything or lost anything or anything was stolen. And then I turn on my Flow Pro, turn up my machine, make sure my downstream injector is working properly, just blowing it out here and then rinsing it out here. And then I shut off my machine. Then I come over and I check my 12 volt. Make sure that it's running. And like today, before I leave, I will actually prime the 12 volt here in the road here so that I don't have to do it in the homeowner's driveway or in front of their home. Make sure all of that is running properly. Then I go to my truck and just make sure that I have everything in line. As long as I've got those things going well, I can feel more than confident that I'm going to be able to get through the day without too many problems. And again, you're still going to have issues. So I'm going to do that here in just a moment, off camera, of course, and then I'm going to head out and be at my first opportunity, Lord willing, right on time, and jump out and start working. So, all right, I've said a lot, and I know it was a long video that wasn't intended to turn into a rant, but it kind of did. So make sure that you have everything in order. It's an embarrassment and extremely unprofessional, in my opinion, to get to a job, have to knock on the door and say, ma'am, sir, I have options. I can fix my equipment in your driveway, or I can go home and come back and reschedule. That still is possible that it's going to happen. But more often than not, if you do everything the night before, even though many times it takes you into the dark hours of the evening, get that stuff done so that you don't have to worry about it this morning or in the morning. All right, what a rant. Mike, the Fresh Rinse. And I'm off to opportunity number 1.